Warracknabeal is a small town of 2,300 people in the Wimmera region of Western Victoria. It's about a 4-hour drive from Melbourne. Let's check it out. G'day, welcome back. I'm here in Warracknabeal today with the King Dreamer.
How you going?
And we're checking out the footy ground here and around the area. At Anzac Park, it even says it on the bin. The Warrack Eagles play here in the Wimmera League. There's a very nice grandstand here. They used to be Warracknabeal themselves, but they actually merged with a smaller club called Brim, and we'll go out there and check it out. But seems to be a fairly nice oval. I haven't been here before. Goalpost a little small. We got the nets behind the goals. Like, there's a little bit of a gap there, so you wouldn't want to. Well, there's no net down that end, so I guess you'd use this end for kicking, but it would be a little bit annoying to track the balls down. Cricket nets here. It's actually the St Mary's Cricket Club, not Warracknabeal. I think that's got something to do with a private school or a church around here. But the surface looks quite nice actually. Could be good for cricket. A very nice old grandstand here, the Anzac Memorial Grandstand. There are a few grandstands in the Wimmera League, aren't there? But it's not heaps. It's more of a Victorian thing to have grandstands in South Australia, so pretty cool that this one is still here. It's even got the clock there. But you get a good view actually up here. Don't know if they have grand finals here or not, but because there are a few grandstands in the Wimmera. Usually the grand final is at Horsham, so. But they even got palm trees here, which is pretty random. Decent lights. And yeah, not too bad. Still some old buildings on this side. Are the club rooms on that side, are they?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it. Warracknabeal has about 2,500 people, and when you drive in it says the birthplace of Nick Cave. He's like an old singer bloke. But you might know Kyle Cheney, who played in the AFL, and Matt Rosa, who played for West Coast and Gold Coast. They're probably the most recent AFL players from here. Here we have an old building, the Mallee Taylor Memorial Kiosk. And I don't reckon it gets used a whole lot. What can we find inside? Oh, it might be a CWA place actually. Look in there. Well, it doesn't really look like it's a footy thing. It's got different honour boards in there. Like this one is, you can't really see it, but it's the La Public Hall and the La State School, LAH, and like little towns around Warracknabeal. So maybe they don't have a hall in that little farming area anymore, so they put it in this building. Looks like they even have some photos of what this building was like back in the day, but yeah, interesting little setup. I haven't really seen places like this where they have random bits of signs from around the district. Actually, it looks like next to the grandstand are some hockey goals. At a random bike, someone's left their bike here. So they might have had a hockey team playing here at one point, but I don't reckon they'll be playing much now. Warracknabeal won 5 senior premierships in the Wimmera League before they merged to become Warrack Eagles. And they won the 2002 premiership after merging just the year before. So that would have been pretty good for them to start off their trot as the Warrack Eagles with a premiership. So they wear maroon and gold, and you can see on the left there, on the Brian Kashitsky wing, they were the Lions and now they're the Eagles after the merger of Warracknabeal and Brim. They actually have a turf wicket here, which is pretty rare for a town of this size. My town's bigger and we don't even have a turf wicket, but it just depends. Like if someone's pretty passionate about cricket, they can sort one out. But the St Mary's Cricket Club play here in the Wimmera Mallee comp. So it's not Warracknabeal. I guess maybe Warracknabeal had their own team at one stage. If you know, then put it in the comments. Club rooms here is pretty sick. It looks like up the top they have a timekeeper's box. Maybe they do commentary even there in the local radio, I don't know. But there's also a pool there. So some grounds have a pool next to them. This is one of them. Don't know if there's anyone there. We're not. Oh, it was meant to be over 30 today. I don't know if it is yet. Maybe this afternoon some people will go there. But here's the netball out the back of the club rooms, and it looks like there's only one netball court. There's a bit of a stand here, but usually there's a couple. There are other courts out the back, obviously. Oh no, there is a netball court just there, so that makes sense. But Tennis courts out the back there as well. Not too bad. We're at the back of the club room, so it's pretty close. But you don't see the football at all from here, so it's sort of like totally different. Now, Warracknabeal were an inaugural Wimmera League club, but for 3 seasons prior to that, they actually played in the Ballarat League. It was sort of a merger between the Wimmera League back then and the Ballarat League now. It's 2.5 hours drive nowadays, so I can only imagine what it was back then. Now, usually at footy grounds, the club rooms are locked up, obviously, but thankfully there were some locals there and they actually let us in. Oh yeah, Clayton Hinkley. Cole Cheney. They don't have a Crows one. There's the Premiers. And then Jeremy Clayton. Doesn't look like a player to me. Looks like a retail. But anyway, there's Matt Rosa as well. Matt Rosa's jumper's just over here as well. But another signed retail jumper. 150 games. But anyway. Retail. Yeah. The Olympian Lauren Hewitt. Must be an AFLW player from here, Alex Morecambe. Inaugural VFLW and AFLW for the women's team of Essendon. And there's Jeremy Clayton up there. There were 3 guys in the Rebels. Imagine that now. Yeah. You wouldn't get 3 blokes from the Wimmera, let alone from Warracknabeal in one team. And that's when they won the comp. So like Adam Goods was playing. That's when he got drafted. Warracknabeal Hockey Club. The last date on there is 2005. So we're talking about hockey. I don't reckon they play anymore. Then we got all the tennis stuff up here. Quite a bit of that. They probably still play. They used to be in the Central Wimmera there. Warracknabeal Tennis Association after that. There's even Ailsa Tennis Club, which surprises me, I guess, because that's like a little area, farming area around here. But they still have one in 2013-14.
Hockey premierships here.
What else is here? Life members of Anzac Park, and there's the hockey stuff. Yeah. Wonder if they. Don't know when they stopped playing. That one says 2007. Might have to. They might even still play. I don't know. Best and fairest for hockey. Here's the netball stuff. Pretty cool. The football premiership up the top. When they beat Ararat, Warrack Eagles. Pretty cool. And the Rezzies must have won in 2012. So they used to wear maroon with a gold stripe down the middle for many, many years. All these blokes are wearing it until they wore stripes. So there's Brian Kajitsky, who's the wing is named after him. And he's wearing like a sort of a Collingwood Hawthorn type jumper. It's like Hawthorn but with maroon. And that's what they wore until the merger, it seems. All those blokes are wearing it up the top with the VCFL logo. 1977. They were the Premiers Reserves runners-up. And some more team photos here of various years. And these club rooms were opened in 1995. So that's why they're the brick ones. Usually brick ones are a little bit older, so but it's pretty nice in a big open area. Quite good. And here we have the scoreboard. It's an old school scoreboard. You can tell that for sure, but still enjoy seeing them around the place. They don't have the opposition team up there. Maybe we can have a look if there's any in there. Unfortunately, this one is locked up, so we can't get a look in there. There's also this like CFS training facility here, and I've seen this at some of the grounds around the Wimmera, like at the Stolf Swifts ground they have this. I think at Rupp, I reckon they have it, and probably a few others. They always have like this tower thing. Actually at Hamilton they have it, which is not a Wimmera club but Hampton club, but yeah, it's kind of weird. You don't see this anywhere else apart from this area, I reckon. And here's a cricket net, so you can see it's St Mary's Cricket Club. It is not Warracknabeal, which is pretty rare. The Shire is Yarriambiack. It's not actually the Horsham Council or Wimmera Council or whatever. But yeah, not too bad. They obviously prioritise their cricket in this town, I reckon. Alright, we're on the way to Brim, but we stopped at this little place called La, L-A-H, or La, or something. Anyway, there's an old cricket pitch here. I don't think they had a football team, but pretty random to find this footy ground. There's a bit of a swamp or dam or something nearby, so maybe that was that's why they use this area for now. But yeah, it's pretty weird. There's a little track around the outside here. There's actually a bin over there, which is a good sign that people still come here like recreationally, and it's not someone's farm, but sorry if it is. Yeah, anyway, cricket pitch here. Fire pit. Yeah, there's like a little fire pit over there. And I saw a few like bottles and cans and that around the place, so people probably come here every now and then. But yeah, anyway, nice little abandoned cricket pitch. You can see how there's this track around the outside of what the ground would have been. Would love to know the last time they played cricket here. Maybe I'll chuck it up on the screen, but it is very difficult to research cricket as opposed to football. There's still a lot of growth to do into sort of cricket research compared to footy. So here we are at Brim, which is about 5 minutes away from La, and this is actually still a current ground, so the Warrack Eagles play a couple of games here per year. They've taken the goals down, but you can still see the old Brim Eagles sign here, which is pretty sick. So when they merged, Warrack became the Eagles and lost the Lions name, but yeah, the surface looks fairly decent for a small town. That CRT there, that's pretty much the main shop in town. There is a pub as well. But you can get like food and drinks at that CRT. Like if you don't know what CRT is, it's like a rural supplies shop. But yeah, oh, that's true. There's actually you can there's a doll collection and you can look at it 9 to 5 every day. Well, I don't know about every day, but I don't reckon they're open today. Not too many. Was it? Yeah. You reckon you could go in and look at the dolls? Yeah, the door was open. Oh, right, okay. That's a bit scary. Every day, 9 to 5, you can look at the doll collection in Brim. But there's not a lot of sponsor signs here. The lights aren't actually too bad for a very small town. Like I guess they train out here a little bit, the Warrack Eagles. They used to play in the Southern Mallee League, and then that became the Mallee League. So they were the southernmost team in the Mallee League until their merger with Warrack. So now they play down the other way. So their centenary was 92 and this was opened in 1981. Although the outside of this facility looks a lot newer than 1981.
And their secretary in 1882 was Tom Lynch.
Tom Lynch. There you go.
Brim Football Club. W. Kendall, the president, and secretary Tom Lynch.
There you go. You can see the last year was 2000. No, 2001. Anyway, they merged around then. 2001 I thought it was. The golf club stuff is over there. And I don't know where the golf course is. That might not be in existence anymore. It wouldn't surprise me. But they still got all the old honour boards and whatnot in here, which is pretty good to see. Can't see any jumpers. But yeah, we'll have more of a look around. Yeah, so there actually is a jumper in here and it's a Matt Rosa, so very similar to the one at the Warrack ground. There's also a blazer there. You get a good look at that. It's a bit far away, but...
It's brown and gold.
Yeah.
There's a Matt Rosa picture there.
Matt Rosa again. I reckon, I don't know if Rosa had anything to do with Brim though. Like he would have played here for sure. Like in his later junior years he would have played here, but... Sure, I don't know, like... Surely if you had if you're a Warrack person, you'd have the photo at the Warracknabeal ground, and if you're a Brim person, I don't know. That's just what I thought, but that's a...
Unless he was a Brim person.
He potentially could have been a Brim person.
Because he's the only one that's got it at both.
There's no actually other guys like Kyle Cheney and stuff like that. Because Kyle Cheney still actually plays for the Warrack Eagles now. And the courts here are very, very nice. Geez, flash. For a small town here, they've had upgrades in recent years, and nets are nice around the outside, and very blue. So often a blue court is new, green is a little bit older, and then if they're black, if they're just default colour, then usually they're a bit older. What's this for? This is a big bench. The Warracknabeal Public Tennis Club until 1995. That's not here, obviously, that's somewhere else. Maybe they moved it here. Centenary in 98 of the Brim Tennis Club. Now, do they still play here? I don't know. So these were actually opened in 2022, these courts, so that's hence why they're so new. And all the rollerbladers in town are not allowed here. Doubt anyone here would. Maybe there's a few around. I don't know, but looks fairly good. Looks fairly good. They have a lot of upgrades for courts in Victoria compared to South Australia, I reckon. And at the back of the courts is a little playground there. So at the back here, they call it the Brim Country Club, but it's a golf course. So here is
$5 to play a game here. It looks like someone's ransacked the.
Oh no. Country Club. Very nice name for it. So here is the golf course. We're actually at the back of the footy club rooms here.
You get the green pills, pay $5 here.
Yep. It's a bit worn out, this thing, but the sand buckets and then the sand supply. But here we are.
Memory of Steve Fisher, 1997.
Right. Must have been a keen golfer, Mr. Fisher. But yeah, golf course. Maybe you can still have a hit here, I'm not too sure. I think these are the greens. Are they called sand scrapes or something like that, I reckon they might call them. But yeah, interesting setup. Not a lot of green grass, but you don't expect it out here, where hence them playing in the Mallee League. We're sort of on the edge of the Mallee, sort of between the Wimmera and the Mallee. But the golf, it's been clogged up. There you go, you can play a bit of golf on that now, but we're just out the back of the tennis and there's a footy there, so an old golf course. So this is actually a current cricket ground and someone has left their glove here. The Brim Kellalac Sheep Hills, something like that. Kellalac Sheep Hills. So that's why the ground is actually so nice. They play in the Horsham Cricket Association. And yeah, it's a merger of a few clubs. And it is a turf wicket here as well. Amazingly, Brim has a population of 181 people. A very small town. Is there a smaller town in Victoria to have a turf wicket? I know maybe other states are a bit more into their cricket, but that is actually mad. They're putting so much effort into this. Quite a good thing for the town, I reckon, to have such a nice cricket ground for a very small area. And yeah, they just played here yesterday, so you can see it's a bit of wear to the pitch. And here's the scoreboard. We got the Warrack Eagles on there, but for some reason someone's put up Hopetoun. And Hopetoun hasn't existed since like 2014, I think it was. That's not too far away from here. They were a Mallee club, but obviously Warrack Eagles are a Wimmera club. So it originally said Eagles, and then they just chucked Warrack above it, which is funny. But there's some numbers on the ground. We'll see if we can have a look. All right, I finally got up here. So on the other side of Hopetoun, it says Oyen, another former club. What else can we find here? If we look behind this one, it says RSL Tigers, and that was Horsham City Tigers, and no, they no longer exist. They're now part of Nadamuck, so that's a fairly old one as well. Anyway, there's just sort of numbers everywhere in here, and they play, I think it's 2 games a year here at Brim, which is not actually the northernmost part of the Wimmera League anymore, since Southern Mallee Thunder joined after the Mallee League closed. But at one point in the early 2000s, this was the most northern point, I believe. The golf course actually surrounds the footy ground here, so there's a sign here: beware when golf is in progress. So I'll keep an eye out, but I think I'll be right today. There's a concrete pad here. Maybe they're going to build a shed there or something. And there's an older one here, so something was removed there. But all in all, it's quite an impressive setup here at Brim, considering the size of the town. Someone's putting a lot of effort to this place. So here's the secretary room, and this actually has a lot of photos. So Brim used to wear maroon with a gold V, so that was convenient when they merged with Warrack. Although like Warrack people would have come out here to play, if they wanted to play at a sort of a lower level in the Mallee leagues, they would have come out here, or maybe if Brim wanted a better player, they might get him out.
Another Matt Rosa.
Yeah, Matt Rosa, Warrack Eagles. When he played for the Rebels.
2003. It's proudly sponsored in 2003 by Warrack Eagles Football Club.
Yeah.
So he would have played a lot of football at both.
Yeah, he would have played here for sure, yeah. But seems like they swore the maroon with the gold V, bit of a classic design clubs wear in country footy. Alright, we made it out to Cannum here. The football ground was this paddock, surprisingly, but there is a sign here. Cannum lasted until 1970 in football and netball, although it says on the sign, it says basketball. That was netball back in the day. And then they had cricket until 1979, so I guess that was the last time it was used out here, and there's literally nothing left. But thankfully this sign, when all this was put here in 1996, Cannum actually played in the Horsham District League in their 2 final years. Before that, they were a major team in the North Wimmera League, and they played the Lowen Star for 1 year. That league finished, so they joined the Horsham District in their last year. So it's pretty hard to believe a Horsham District club played here. There's no town. 2 cars went past us just before, and that was pretty much a traffic jam. So that sort of shows you what this area is like just out of Warracknabeal. But yeah, pretty cool to go here because I've always been interested in this club, but not much to see. Alright, just out the other side of Warracknabeal is Sheep Hills, and there is a golf course here. There's a footy ground, there's a cricket ground as well on the golf course itself. I don't know when this was last used. Doesn't look terribly old, but doesn't look very recent either. So maybe in the last, I don't know, 20 years, I don't know. That looks not too old, the bottle and can thing, but...
For keeping score, this one's $5 more expensive to play on, $10 green fees.
Oh, true. Yeah, $10 over there.
You expect a bit better of a course.
Pretty dry now. I don't reckon they would have had irrigation here probably, but... Yeah, interesting. We'll try and find the ground out here. So it's about 10 minutes out of Warracknabeal, and Warracknabeal has its own golf course, so I'm surprised there was one here as well. I thought this might have been the actual Warracknabeal golf course, but it's an additional one. This is really similar to the golf course at Brim actually, so might have been sort of common in this area for the smaller towns that have this type of golf course. With I think it's like tar or something, these greens. So Sheep Hills played in the North Wimmera League until 1949, and then merged with Boolite, which is the next town over. So yeah, no, it's not Clyde Boolite, it's Boolite, I think. So that's another ground, but yeah, whether they played games here or there, we'll find out maybe. But still trying to find the cricket pitch on this golf course, but I think we're on the right track. Alright, and we found it here. So this looks like a little bit of a crop here, which has been harvested thankfully, so we can walk on it. But yeah, here's the old cricket pitch of Sheep Hills. So it's not actually on the golf course itself like I thought it might have been, but just on a paddock on the outside of it. it's a bit of a clearing here, so it makes sense that there was an oval here. And yeah, bit of a random spot, but pretty cool we actually found it. There is also an old tennis court here as well. The silos are there. I think that's where the actual Sheep Hills town is, over there. But tennis courts here, probably used until the 90s. I found some 90s cans around here, so chances are there are a few kids having a soft drink back then and chucked it in the bushes. Bit of a shelter there, but yeah, that's about it for Sheep Hills ground, I reckon. So here's Boolite. This seems like a lot more of a ground compared to Sheep Hills. And the two clubs merged and played until 1967 in the Northern Wimmera League. I think that league finished very soon after that. But yeah, it's about 15 minutes away from Sheep Hills. And I think this is still a currently used hall. Out the back here, it's fairly well maintained compared to Sheep Hills anyway. And the centenary of the cricket club was 1987. So that's when that was put up. There's a cricket pitch there, and for some reason someone's put up a few little goals for a kid probably, and the goalpost has fallen down. So but I'm pleased to see this is a bit more of a ground than what we've been to at Sheep Hills and some of the other smaller areas around here. Cricket pitch here, still got the green stuff on it, so wouldn't surprise me if they even played here up until about 20 years ago, like just by the vibe of it all. Sure, I could probably ask someone from around this area. I think we're getting close to Minyip around here. Also then Warracknabeal, but yeah. So I tried to fix up this goal, but the dropper won't go on the ground. It's a bit too hard without a hammer or anything like that. So anyway, it's good that someone put up these little goals. Maybe some kid comes here every now and then, or maybe it was just for fun or something, I don't know, but pretty funny. On the way back from Horsham, we've stopped by Kellalac, and this team had a football club this place had a football ground club until 1920. I think the cricket ground is a bit more recent. You wouldn't really tell because there's a heap of trees on it, but I reckon they might have been planted here, like it's some like native bloody vegetation thing, because there's actually a sight screen down there by the look of it we can have a look at. And I reckon back here might have been a school as well. But yeah, there's you can definitely see where the ground was at least. So it seems like on here is probably where club rooms were. This concrete pad. It reminds me of Kayata, this place. Do you remember going to Kayata and like they planted trees on it?
Yeah.
I reckon that's what they done here, because it seems like it, like some bloody setup. Storage? No, it's got a meter in here. Something or other. Beyond my pay grade, this stuff, but there you go. Pretty old school. So we risked the tall grass and got here to the cricket pitch, and you can see the sight screen down that end quite easily. The pitch, I don't know when it was last used. You can see the marking just here of the white line, the crease. But yeah, it seems like this club ended up merging with Brim, where we were at before, I believe. And yeah, it's pretty hard to believe when you drive past probably that this was a cricket ground. But you can still see the sight screen at either end. So not heaps of cricket grounds have sight screens. This view is obstructed by the trees, but you can see this one down here quite clearly. Now the section next to the oval is actually a church. I didn't expect that. I thought it would be a school, but not a church. So there you go. 1967 was the last year, and there's not really anything left except these trees around the edges. So yeah, a bit of a different one, because we are absolutely middle of nowhere, sort of like in between Warrack and Horsham here. Alright, that's it. Hope you enjoyed us going around Warracknabeal. Let us know where I should go next in these videos. Cheers.